This is Cuba. It is an island just 90 miles off the coast of Florida with beautiful landscapes and a tropical climate. It is most recognized in the United States as being one of the last countries in the world ruled by the Communist Party. Now, after a bloodless revolution, Fidel Castro has ruled Cuba for over 50 years. Prior to the Cuban Revolution, a man named Fulgencio Batista was the dictator of Cuba. Although elections were held for dictator, Batista was part of a very corrupt regime that was well known for rigging the elections and never followed the Cuban constitution after his military takeover in 1952. This unpopularity is what Fidel Castro capitalized on. The truly amazing aspect of Fidel Castro's takeover was the lack of bloodshed. It was his knowledge of the people that ultimately brought him to power. His takeover began with a small attack in July of 1953 consisting of members of the Orthodox Party, the Social Democrat Party, on the Moncada Army barracks. Nearly all of the rebels were killed in the attack, but luckily Fidel was captured and sentenced to 15 years in prison. Uproar about this sentencing scared Batista into releasing Fidel after just 2 years and exiling him to Mexico. In Mexico, he teamed up with another important player in the revolution, Che Guevara, and the two of them trained an army to overthrow Batista. In December of 1956, they snuck back into Cuba and hid in the Maestra Mountains. Fidel focused on preaching his communistic beliefs to the peasants. Generally, in communism, impoverished people are the supporters that you tend to gain, due to the equality factor. Batista began to ruthlessly attack pro-Castro towns, upsetting the peasants even more. On May 24th of 1958, Batista decided to end this revolutionary uprising once and for all by leading an army consisting of 17 battalions, tanks, planes, and ships to the Maestra Mountains. Although outnumbered, the rebels were inflicting so many casualties upon Batista's unprepared for guerrilla warfare army that the dictator's forces began to surrender. Batista and his generals realized that there was no hope and decided to flee to live out their years in Spain. Fidel and his rebel troops were able to march right into the capital of Havana and take power.